पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. By the infinite grace of Lord Shri Krishna and Sri Ramakrishna, we are continuing to study the Bhagavadgita. So we are in the beginning of the 4th chapter, and Krishna says, this is an old instruction, the yoga I have imparted to Vivaswan. Vivaswan means the sun god. Vivaswan manave praha. Vivaswan instructed this yoga to Manu. Manuhu ikshvakave abravit. Manu imparted this teaching to Ikshvaku. This is the genealogy of this yoga. What is the yoga referred here? Shankaracharya in his commentary says, it is the subject matter of the 2nd and 3rd chapter, consisting of Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. That is the essence of the whole Gita. That is what is referred here. But Arjuna had a problem here. What is that problem? He says, aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha kathametad vijaniyam tvamadau proktavaniti. Arjuna thought the Lord Krishna is uttering a contradictory statement. It is not in consonance with the reasoning. Why it is so? And through that contradictory statement, and he is trying to confuse, he has confused the mind, my mind. So, Lord is not intended to confuse anyone. If he confuses through his teachings, he cannot be called an Ishwara or the Lord at all. He cannot be a guru in true sense. So there should be something wrong in my own understanding of the statement. So in order to resolve this, Arjuna is asking a question rather than objection. What is that objection? O Lord, bhavataha janma aparam. Aparam means contemporary, not very distant. In this shloka, para means distant with respect to kala or the time. Apara means the nearness, not distant. And you were born some years ago in the womb of Vasudeva and the Devaki. You were born in the womb of Devaki to Vasudeva. And you have fathers who are still living, perhaps. So you are a contemporary person. You are a recent one. So, aparam bhavataha janma. And you say you have instructed Vivaswan or the sun god in the beginning of creation. But the birth or the time of the Vivaswan or the sun god at the time of creation is a very distant one. Param means distant in terms of the time. You are a contemporary of me, but Vivaswan is a very ancient being, very ancient person. And how can you instruct a person who lived or who is there for hundreds of thousands of years, the sun god? Kathametant vijaniyam tvamadau proktavaniti. Tvam, you are the same person who has instructed Vivaswan. Adau means in the beginning of creation, you are that same person who has instructed Vivaswan or sun god. Proktavan means who has instructed or imparted his teaching. Iti katham etad vijaneyam. How can I know this? How can I know this secret? This is not reasoning that is logically coherent here, because I am seeing you and you are a contemporary person, you are a recent one, but Vivaswan has been born in a very distance of time. So I am not able to comprehend this fact. But I don't think you are telling some lie or you are trying to confuse me. But it is my inability which is making me misunderstand your statement. I am not able to understand this. And this is the question posed by Arjuna. To this Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Lord Krishna says here, Krishna, as understood by Arjuna, we should know, is only a mortal Krishna. Krishna who was born in Vasudeva and the Devaki. But Krishna has got another dimension to his personality. Krishna is not an ordinary person. Krishna is avatara. That dimension Arjuna has forgotten altogether. So Shankaracharya writes here, Vasudeve Anishwara Asarvajna Shanka Murkhanam. The fool, those who are ignorant, think the Lord is Anishwara. He doesn't have any power at all. He doesn't have any knowledge at all. He is not omnipresent. He is not all-knowing. This kind of doubt may come when we hear the question or the objection of Arjuna. In order to remove that, in order to remove the doubt of the Arjuna, Krishna says here, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani. I have already lived many births, thousands of births. As an Ishwara, I have taken birth, avataras, and you will find hundreds of avataras. Avataras are not confined to only 10. The Bhagavata itself says, avataras are numberless. Among those avataras, 10 avataras are very prominent. In fact, Bhagavata mentions 24 avataras. So, avatarahi asankheyani. Avataras are unlimited. That's why we have modern avatars also, like Sri Ramakrishna. They are not in the group of 10 or 24. Still, we believe Sri Ramakrishna to be an avatara. So Krishna says, I am born again and again, several times. Bahuni me vyatitani. Vyatitani means it has already passed through. Vyatita means what has happened already is vyatita. It has gone. It has already happened. And what about me? Arjuna asks. You also have gone through many births. Janmani tava charjuna cha. Cha and Arjuna, you also, in your case also. In your case also means you also have passed through many births. So what is this uh, thing here? Philosophically, it is a very important issue, important topic to be discussed. And this is one of the core beliefs of Hinduism, or rather all the religions born in India. Hinduism, Jainism, as well as the Buddhism. So we have the theory of incarnation or theory of the Janma. Janma and karma theories are always go together. There is a close relationship between the theory of Janma and theory of the karma. Krishna as an Ishwara is speaking, I have passed through many births. O Arjuna, you have also passed through many births. That means a jiva is there. Jiva is something which is the ignorant state of a Atman. Atman is all pervading. Atman doesn't have any bondage. Atman is eternal. Atman is full of bliss. Atman is jnana itself, knowledge itself. This we know through Vedanta. But in the ignorant state, this Atman becomes an embodied soul. Embodied soul means it has got a residence, it has got a body. There are two kinds of bodies. In fact, there are three. For our convenience, we will discuss only two kinds of bodies. One is the sthula sharira that we see from the externally. Another is sukshma sharira, the subtle body. The mind and the intellect and even the vital air forms a subtle body that we are not able to see, but it is also a body. So after our death, so-called death, what dies is not subtle body. The gross body dies, and some people cremate it and some people bury it. But the subtle body and the embodied soul in the subtle body goes from one birth to another birth. What is meant by birth? Taking birth in another body. This is what is called incarnation or janmantara in Indian tradition. And we say that we have passed through several births. Krishna also says, not one or two births, hundreds of births, thousands of births. This process is called beginningless, anadi, and also the endless, until we discover the truth that we are Atman, and Atman doesn't have any affliction with the body and mind. Atman is independent, and if we can identify with our Atman, and there will be no rebirth at all. Until then, this ignorant state. The ignorant state is called samsara. Samsara continues. But very interestingly, in Ishwara also takes birth. The jivi, ordinary jivi also takes place. And what is the difference between the birth of an Ishwara and the birth of an ordinary being? In his commentary, Shankaracharya says, Dehavaniva, Jataiva, these two words he uses. These are very important in the context of a birth of an Ishwara, an avatara. The jivas are born in accordance with their past karma. In order to reap the results of the karma, the ordinary beings are born. But along with reaping the results of the karma, the past karma, they also undertake new karmas. That new karmas will lead to succeeding births to them. But in the case of Ishwara, there is no past karma to be enjoyed in his life. So the purpose of divine birth is entirely different, and Krishna elucidates that point in the next sloka, Kajanma karma cha me divyam. It is something divine. So we are all born to enjoy the results of the past karma, good or bad. If we had done good karma, we are here to enjoy the sukha or the happiness. So if we had done a bad karma, the evil action, we are here to suffer. So in case of Ishwara, the purpose of taking birth is entirely different. It is for the sake of loka sangraha, for the welfare of the world. And that mission of the incarnation, Krishna says after one or two shlokas, that we will not repeat now. So the fact is, even Ishwaras has got many births. The ruler, the God, we say him, Krishna is such a God. He underwent many births. An ordinary jiva like Arjuna also underwent many births, has gone through the many births. And this is the fact. What is the difference between you and me then? Tanyaham Veda Sarvani. Sarvani Aham Veda. Sarvani means all. I know about all the births I have passed through. I can recount them and I can tell you what are the births I have passed through. So the understanding is always there in the case of Ishwara. One of the traits or the qualities of Ishwara mentioned in our bhakti tradition is Ishwara's knowledge gets never diminishes. Always that Ishwara's knowledge is glowing. It is always there. At no point you will find Ishwara is devoid of his understanding or the knowledge. What kind of knowledge? The knowledge of everything, including himself. That is called Sarvajnatva in the tradition. Sarvajna, he knows everything because he is the creator. It is he who has become everything. Ishavasya midam sarvam. In the Ishavasya Upanishad Bhashya, in the beginning itself, Shankaracharya says Isha means he is the ruler. He rules everything. Not in the sense of a kingdom ruling over his king ruling over his kingdom, but in the sense that it is he who has become everything. He is the Atma, the inner essence of all the beings and all the entities. Because he is the inner controller, inner essence, inner being, Atma. The beautiful word was Sarvatma is used, the Atma of everything. Because of this, he knows everything. So Krishna knows about his birth, hundreds of birth, thousands of birth. But Tani Aham Veda. But in your case, you are an ignorant person. So we can easily make the difference between an ignorant person and the Ishwara. Ishwara is always knowing. Ishwara is always full of understanding. Ishwara is always with the light of knowledge. But in the case of Jiva, Jiva is ignorant person. Jiva doesn't know of the birth he has already passed through. And Jiva doesn't know his real nature as Atman. Jiva doesn't know the secret of creation or the secret of life as such. So, Tani Aham Veda Sarvami Natvam Veta, you do not know. So, Krishna is addressing Arjuna here as Parantapa. It is a very interesting address. Parantapa. Tapa means you burn. Whom you burn? You burn your enemies. You are the scorcher of your foes. And Krishna continues here about his divine birth and the divine deed. about the incarnation. In these few shlokas, we find the secret of incarnation or the avataras revealed in a very distinguished manner, in a very specified manner, in a very lucid manner by Krishna. This theory can be adopted to any incarnation for that matter, not only Krishna's incarnation. Even the incarnations of Shiva, incarnations like Sri Ramakrishna, incarnations like Buddha and Jesus, we can apply this theory, how the incarnation takes place. Krishna continues here, Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swamadisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. The question can be raised here, O Krishna, you say you are always an Ishwara. Shankaracharya uses a word, Nitya Ishwara. A Ishwara cannot be a temporary Ishwara. He cannot be an Ishwara for a certain period of time and he loses that Ishwaratva or the rulership afterwards. It cannot be so. Once an Ishwara, he is always an Ishwara. Ishwaratva or the position of Ishwara is something eternal. So, Nitya Ishwara. In Ishwara, there is no karma at all. Karma, we know, are of two types. One is dharma, another is adharma. I told you, if we do dharma, we have to reap the result of sukha. If we do adharma, we have to reap the result of dukkha or the suffering. So that we can reap the result only in the next birth. We cannot reap the results of all our actions in this very birth. So the next birth becomes absolutely necessary. That is why I told you, the karma theory and the janma theory, theory of the action and theory of the reincarnation are very closely knitted. They are closely related. So that dharma and adharma happens in the only case of jivas and ordinary souls, not in the case of Ishwara. Then how you are born? What is the secret of your birth? By holding on to what you will be born. There should be some substratum, there should be some support to the birth, there should be some reason to the birth. You have to hold on to something. What is that ordinary beings hold on to while they take birth? Their karma. What is their karma? Of two types. What is the karma? Dharma and adharma. In order to reap the results, they have to be born again. And what is that makes an Ishwara to be born again? This divine secret is revealed here. And Krishna says, I am Aja. Even though I am Aja. Aja means unborn. Ja means something which is born. Aja means that which is not born. There is no cause for a ruler of this universe, Paramatma, Ishwara, to be born in a body like the ordinary jivas at all. Janma rahitaha. Shankara writes, Janma rahitaha. I am devoid of the janma. Even though I am Aja, as well as I am avyayatma. All are Atmas. But the jivas are embodied Atmas. They are in ignorance. But Ishwara is avyayatma. So here in this case Shankaracharya writes, Akshina Jnana Shakti. The power and the knowledge that makes an Ishwara never gets diminished at any point of time. Akshina Jnana Shakti. Svabhava. The very nature of Ishwara is to be embedded with supreme power and the supreme knowledge. That status never get diminished, never get destroyed, never get decayed in the case of the Ishwara. So we learned two words here. One is the ajopi and also avyayatma. Here api, even though this word should be attached to every quality. Ajaha api, avyayatma api. So we have to read like this. Next comes bhutanam ishwaropi. Here api is added already. In the case of ajaha and avyayatma, we have to add api. One api is here. Ajopi sun. Sun means even though being. The sun pratyaya, even though I am being an aja and the avyayatma. And also bhutanam ishwaraha api san. So another qualification of being an Ishwara is he should be the ruler of all the entities in this world, living and the non-living. So Arjuna, Shankaracharya is very fond of saying in these cases like this, Brahmadi Stamba Pariyantam. So Brahmadi Stamba Pariyantam doesn't exclude anything, it includes every entity in this world. What is meant by Brahmadi Stamba Pariyantam? Brahma means Chaturmukha Brahma. In Indian tradition, it is the highest possible state in the samsara or the transmigratory state. And that is the collective sense, collective totality of all the living beings. We say Hiranyagarbha or the Prajapati or the Chaturmukha Brahma. It is the highest state in the samsara or the state of the bondage. And what is Stamba? Stamba is a planet. A planet is called Stamba here. It is the lowest creature among the living beings. So Chaturmukha Brahma is the highest and a plant is the lowest creature. So between that, every living entity is included here. Because only living entity is taken, because only in the living entity, like plants and the animals and human beings, we say there is soul, there is Atman. And we do not consider the non-living entities here. So Brahmadi Stamba Pariyantanam. So all the living entities are included. From Chaturmukha Brahma or the Hiranyagarbha or Prajapati up to a lowly creature, lowly living entity like the plants. I am the Ishwara, Ishana Shilaha. I have the character of ruling over them. What is meant by ruling over the living entities? We had to recapitulate our understanding of the Indian tradition and Indian scriptures in order to understand what is actually meant by ruling over the world. In the peripheral sense, Ishwara is karma Karmadyaksha. He knows the secret of our karma, and it is he who distributes results to our work. But some people say it is something automatic system. So we do some karma, and for that particular karma, the result is already predestined, and we attain that result and we get the results. So Ishwara only presides for them. Even Ishwara doesn't have the capability to change the course of the action or to change the course of the karma and karma pala. This is the concept of the Karmadyaksha. And he is the creator of this world, Srishtikarta. He is the sustainer of this world. He is the protector of this world. And it is he who destroys the world. And he dissolves this world into its primeval condition. The world, the whole universe he was in a potential condition. From potential to manifested state. Who brought about that? Ishwara brought about that. Ishwara transformed the potential state of this world into something manifested state. That is what is called creation. We do not have an absolute creation in Hindu tradition, in Indian tradition at all. And also he is the protector. That aspect of Ishwara is called Brahma. Brahma is called Srishtikarta. Next we have sustaining. One who stabilizes, one who keeps the world stabilized in a stable condition. That is the another function of the Ishvara. That aspect of Ishvara we call Vishnu. Vishnu is Palana Karta, and he is the sustainer, Sthiti Karta. Next we have dissolving this universe. There is no absolute destruction of the universe. Nothing is destroyed and nothing is born new in our Indian tradition. So the manifested universe dissolves into unmanifested or the potential form. That is what is called destruction here, and that is called dissolving or pralaya here. That pralaya karta, that aspect of Ishvara is called Shiva or the Rudra. So the Lord is Karmadhyaksha, and Lord is the giver of the results of the actions the jivas have done, and he is the Srishti Karta and the Palana Karta or Sthiti Karta, as well as he is the Laya Karta. So these are some of the concepts about the Ishvara. The best way of understanding the Ishvara we can learn through Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in the concept of the indwelling spirit of this. So he is the indwelling spirit Antaryami. So there is a separate section in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Antaryami Brahmana. Yami means controller. How he controls, situating himself where he controls. He is in the crux of everything. He is inside everything, living, non-living entities. And he controls everything. He is in everything as well as he controls everything. That is the nature of an Ishvara, Antaryami Ishvara. So we have beautiful phrases in Bhagavadgita, Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hruddeshe Arjuna tishtati. So the Lord resides in the hearts of everyone, and that is one of the Antaryamitva, being the indwelling spirit, that same spiritual entity who resides in all being. Suppose you should take a lump of clay, God resides inside it. Suppose you take a speck of the dust, Lord resides it. Suppose you take a Mahatma, the great man, Lord resides it in him. This is the concept of Antaryami. So such an Ishvara, I am the Ishvara of all the beings. Bhutanam Ishvaropisan. So we have three main qualities of Ishvara mentioned in a single line. First one is Ajaha, I am not born. I am born as a avatara, that is true. But for me there is no birth due to karma or the karma pala. As karma pala, as the results of the work, I am not born. Second one is Avyayatma. My jnana and shakti, the power and the knowledge, or rather you can also understand the very power of the knowledge never get diminished. And I am the ruler, I am the Ishvara of all the living beings. And I have already presented before you some of the aspects of the Ishvaratva or the rulership according to Upanishads and Puranas. Even then, Sambhavami, I am born, I will get born, and I am born in the body, just like the human beings. What is birth actually? Birth word itself is a very misleading word. There is no such thing as birth, appearing, that's all. In the case of the Lord, there is no birth. For ordinary jiva, there is birth. Embryo grows itself into a human baby, or in animals, the same process happens in different manner, through egg, etc. But in the case of Krishna, we read Krishna's birth, about Krishna's birth mentioned in Bhagavata on Krishna Janmashtami. It is said Krishna appeared in the womb of the Devaki. First, Krishna appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, and from the mind of Vasudeva, he shifted his position to the womb of Devaki. That is the description we have in the Bhagavata. That means the birth of the divine being is not a biological one at all. So it is something mysterious how he was born as a human being, because he has no karma at all. He is not at all born, still he is born. That's why I told you Shankaracharya uses two words, Dehavaniva Jata, as if he is an embodied being, as if he has got his body, as if he is born. So there is no real birth or real embodiedness in the case of the divine being like Krishna. That we have to understand. So still I am born. For the onlooker, for those who are ignorant of my status or my greatness as an incarnation of God, it looks as if Krishna is born in the womb of Devaki. Sambhavami, how I am born? This shloka gives two explanations. One is Prakritim Swamadishtabhya, Prakritim Swamadhisthaya. So Adhisthaya means having controlled over, taking as support. I think the taking as support is a better reading. Adhisthaya means taking as the support. Swam Prakritim Adhisthaya, taking the support of my Prakriti. So once again we have to understand what is Prakriti. Prakriti is said to be the power of the God. Our tradition says God is there, this world is nothing but the power of the God. So we read in 8th chapter what is the power of the God which is manifested as the world. I repeat this idea, the God and His power. God's power is not different from God. That is what Sri Ramakrishna repeatedly says in his gospel, God and His power. This power of the God which is manifested into this world. So what we see around us is the power of the God. The Prakriti is the power of the God. According to Gita, this power of the God has two aspects. One is para prakriti, another is apara prakriti. All the inner things, the nature is called apara prakriti, inferior power of the God. Then what is the para prakriti? What is the higher prakriti? The higher prakriti, all of us, all the jivas, all the living entities form what is called the para prakriti. So this is about prakriti. So I take the support of my own prakriti and I am born. This is the first part of the second line of the shloka. That is, I cannot be born as an ignorant person. I take my support. I take the support of my own power. That means my birth cannot be said to be something real. My incarnation cannot be said to be something absolute, because there is no such thing as absolute incarnation. So absolute remains always absolute. It is just like, we can give a simple example, a classical example in Vedanta. So we have the sky which is everywhere. It is infinite in nature. But we also have a space within our room. The same sky or the space which is infinite has become limited as if in our room. So we measure our room, oh, this is this much. What about that space? That is also space. There is a larger space, infinite place. There is a finite space within our room. So the birth of the incarnation is like imagining a finite space within the larger infinite space. So it is all a secret, a divine secret, divya rahasya, that we cannot fathom how he was born. That's why Krishna gives an explanation. I take the support of the prakriti and I am born. Prakriti is always the mysterious thing. The power of the God cannot be understood at all. Why? Because it deludes us. Krishna as a born being, we think he is a human being. Krishna is not an incarnation at all. Krishna is an ordinary being. People get deluded. So this prakriti has an aspect that deludes the human being. That deluding aspect Krishna emphasizes in the second part of the shloka. Atma mayaya sambhavami. So what is the difference between Maya and Prakriti? They are one and the same. Prakriti is the power of the God, holding on to which I am born, and I am also born Atma Mayaya. Atma means my own. It is my servant, it is my power. But Maya, the emphasis on the deluding power of the Maya. That means I am seen as if I am born. Really, I am not at all born. Sambhavami, mysterious power. It is a mysterious power inherent in me that makes people to think that I am born. So these two words are very, very difficult to understand, and philosophically they are very, very important. One is Sambhavami Prakritim Adhisthaya, holding on to the Prakriti, and Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Then what is the difference between Maya and Prakriti? As I told you, there is no ontological difference. There is no difference in substance. But Prakriti is a support here. Without the support of the Prakriti, or in simple terms we can say, without taking the support of the body and mind, without residing in the body and mind, you cannot say the Krishna is born. Krishna takes the help of a body and mind, and Krishna is born. And the Prakriti means body and mind. That much understanding is enough. But Atma Maya has got some deeper sense. My Maya, which deludes everything, but it doesn't delude the Ishwara. Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful example. The snake bites, and snake's poison is poison for every other creature, including human beings. I do not know about the animals. Let us see only for humans. When snake bites a human being, it becomes a poison. But that poison is within the mouth of the snake, but it doesn't kill the snake itself. So, God's power or the God's Maya does not delude Ishwara, but it deludes everyone else. So, even though he is born, he will not cease to be an Ishwara. The supreme knowledge, supreme power, supreme glory in Ishvara doesn't get diminished, doesn't get destroyed, doesn't get affected even a bit when he was born as an incarnation of God. So he said that is why he uses deliberately Atma Maya, my own Maya. To others, it looks as if Krishna is born in the womb of Devaki and his father is Vasudeva. For others, for the whole world, Krishna has got a father and mother in Vasudeva and Devaki. And for himself, he remains unborn. He remains Aja. He remains Avyayatma. And this is the divine secret behind the incarnation. That is why Krishna says after 2 or 3 shlokas, Janma karma cha me divyam. My janma is divya. It is something sacred, it is divine. Divine means here mysterious. It cannot be fathomed, which cannot be known through ordinary intellect. It cannot be known. Suppose if you want to know Maya, Maya disappears. If you want to know with the rope or the snake, if you really know the snake disappears, only rope remains. So that is the divine mystery here lucidly spoken of, but the meaning is very, very mysterious here. The meaning is very esoteric here. Krishna continues, Yada yada hi dharmasya banihi bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. So suppose Krishna is asked by Arjuna, O Lord, what is your timing? When you will be born? Krishna says, Yada yada dharmasya glanihi bhavati. What is meant by glani? Glani means decline. So it is said during the course of the kalpa, we should understand what is kalpa. Kalpa is the combination of 4 yugas. Treta Yuga, Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and the Kali Yuga. So in the course of time, whenever the dharma declines, what is meant by decline of dharma? Decline of dharma means already we have tried to understand this in the 3rd chapter. When the practitioners, in the very beginning of this chapter, when dharma declines means practitioners become corrupt. Dharma doesn't decline, dharma never gets corrupted. But the practitioners, so-called practitioners of the dharma becomes corrupt in course of time. And they lose the power, the moral strength, the physical strength and the spiritual strength they lose. And that period is called the decline of the dharma. Dharmatya glanihi. So whenever that happens, yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati, that happens, O Bharata, Arjuna, who belongs to the Bharata clan, adharmasya abhyuttanam. So whenever there is a decline of dharma, there will be ascendance of adharma. Ascendance means abundance. So the people who follow adharma will increase, or so-called dharmikas. So-called people who follow dharma become corrupt and they practice only adharma. So that is called the ascendance of the revival of the adharma here. Adharmasya abhyuttanam bhavati, tada then atmanam srujamyaham. I myself manifest. Manifest means atmanam srujami. Atmanam, myself, srujami. Send, srujami means manifest. Manifest, I myself manifest. That means I don't send any missionary or any servant or any soldier to avoid the decline of the dharma. I myself will be born in order to revive the dharma. So this is the meaning of the shloka number 7. Let us continue. Krishna continues. So whenever there is a decline of dharma, the incarnations like Krishna and Sri Ramakrishna are born. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam paritranaya. In order to protect those who are pious people, those who are virtuous people. So we should understand dharma is something abstract idea. Dharma doesn't have a shape to be protected. So if you protect the sadhus who are following the dharma, if you protect the brahmanas who are following the dharma, brahmanas not in the case of the jati brahmanas, those who are really protecting the dharma by their virtuous life, their pious life, they are to be called brahmanas here. So already in the prologue, introduction to Bhagavadgita, Shankaracharya says, if we protect the brahmanas, brahmanatva will be protected. So brahmana is one who protects the brahmanatva by following in his life. If we follow the dharma, dharma will protect us. If we follow the dharma, we become the dharmikas and we become real brahmanas. So that brahmanatva is a quality of dharma, of leading a life of the dharma. So sadhus are such people. Here sadhus means virtuous people and pious people who have upheld dharma in their life and who have adopted their dharma in their lifestyle. So if we protect those sadhus, dharma will be protected. That is the purpose of the incarnation of God. Paritranaya sadhunam, in order to protect. Vinashaya cha dushkrutam. Why should the Lord punish? Vinasha here means destruction literally, but the destruction should not be taken in literal sense, because He is the God of all, He is the benevolent Lord. Krishna is the Lord of Arjuna, as well as Krishna is the Lord of Duryodhana also. So what Krishna destroys is the adharma pravrutti in Dushasana. The tendency of adharma which is inherent in Duryodhana. Rama is the Lord of all. Rama is the Lord of Krishna, Rama is the Lord of Lakshmana, and Rama is the Lord of Ravana also. What he destroyed then? He destroyed the adharmic tendency in Ravana. The killing of Ravana is purely symbolic. By killing the Ravana, he is trying to subjugate, or he is trying to destroy the tendency of adharma which is prevalent in the people of that day. And that symbolism we have to recognize. Here when Krishna says, I am going to destroy those who are practicing adharma, those dushkrutam. Kruta means those who are following and doing. They have adopted such action. What kind of action? Adharmic action. That which is against the dharma, dushkrutam. So those who are on the wrong path of the dharma, dushkrutam, paritranaya sadhunam, vinachayata dushkrutam, dharma samstapanarthaya. So this is the only way one can establish the dharma. Dharma is something eternal. Dharma need not be established. Dharma need not be established again. But at that particular period, when there was decline of dharma, there is always a need for revival of the dharma. Revival of the dharma. That revival of the dharma in the time of the crisis, when there is a decline of dharma and uprising or ascendance of the adharma, that duty is performed by the Lord, and that duty is called the dharma samstapana. Sri Ramakrishna is also called dharma samstapaka by none other than Swami Vivekananda himself. Stapakaya cha dharmasya. What does it mean by that? Has Ramakrishna established any new dharma? Already we have hundreds of dharmas, religions. Should we call Sri Ramakrishna as a new dharma? It is not so. Sri Ramakrishna revived the true spirit of the religion, true spirit of the righteousness, true spirit of the spirituality in this world. That is why he is called Dharma Samstapaka. So in the case of the Krishna, at the time of the Krishna, there was a decline of dharma, the righteousness, and ascendance of the adharma, that we have already read, abhyuttanam adharmasya, and yada dharmasya glanir bhavati, etc. At that time, Krishna showed what is true religion, what is the way of practicing the true religion, and how people should adopt spirituality in their day-to-day life. And through that, through the teaching of the Gita, Krishna revived the true religion or the true dharma, and that is called dharma samstapana, and that is the work the Lord takes upon himself when he incarnates himself in the human body. Dharma samstapanarthaya. O Lord, when you will be born? Yuge yuge, in every yuga, in every age, from age to age. From age to age means whenever there is a decline of dharma, when there is a ascendance of adharma, that is the time when I will be born. So, paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkrutam, dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.